Hi everybody, welcome. I am again sing-songing the intro. I'm trying to fix my little tripod here because I had to fashion my phone on the top of it because the little piece that attaches to the top busted off, and so I literally have like ribbon here. Let me show you. I have like this ribbon that I've like lassoed around the whole thing to make it stay. But hi, welcome. I am waiting for some people to come in and join. I have some tea this morning. I've been drinking coffee in the beginning of these, but I have tea. This time on the back of here it says Mischief Managed, and you can see when I push my finger on here, it's one of those like magic mugs to where it gets cold or warm, it like changes temperature. So this mug is normally black, and then when you stick hot liquids in it, see when I just made the top of this cold, and my finger gets like an imprint on here. It says, I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. Hi Heather, how are you guys? I'm waiting for some people to join in. The tea I'm drinking is my favorite tea of all time. It's just like a black tea. I know, it's so cool. I mean, it's cool too in the sense though, but like I typically let my drinks go cold before I can like actually drink most of them, just because I'm a Gemini, I get distracted or whatever and I forget to keep drinking it. So like it's kind of disappointing because it's a reminder when I go to sip it, like, oh shit, the mug's black again, like I need to go heat it up. Hi Irish Twins Mama, hi Miranda. I'm also drinking in a Harry Potter temperature mug right now. No way, really? That's amazing. Yeah, so this was a gift and I was super excited, but I think it's like so cool. You see how it like changes. Oh, and there's the Marauders map like over here. So cool. But the happy Witchy Monday, yay! Hi Sam. Stash's brand, the brand Stash, makes a tea called Breakfast in Paris, and I've been like gushing about this tea for years now. And it's Stash is everywhere, but hi Donna, how are you? Welcome. Stash is everywhere, but this particular flavor is kind of hard to find, and it's so good. It's like lavender, bergamot, and vanilla, and it's just a black tea, but to me it's like so soothing and so good. Okay, so I just got off the phone with someone having a pretty serious conversation. I'm trying to lower this just a little bit. Miranda, so happy to finally be joining in on live. I'm always watching them afterwards. Thank you for watching it afterwards, but I know it's just not as fun if you can't come live. And I was thinking about this morning actually when I was getting ready, that like it's kind of hard to find a time that works for everybody. So I apologize to those of you watching this back, or even if you got up super early and you made it to the live stream, because I know that I have family that's out west. So I live in Michigan in the United States. And so right now for me it's 9 a.m. But I know people like in Europe and all that, like it's later in the day, so it's maybe not as hard to watch depending on what your schedule is like on a Monday. But for the people out west in the US, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. So it kind of sucks because I don't know if I would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch a live stream. So if you're one of those people who are, wow, thank you so much for like getting up early and coming here to hang out and talk books and spirituality with me. But if you're watching the playback and you're kind of in that situation, I'm sorry, but I was thinking of you this morning. I mean, maybe in the future we'll move the time a little bit back, but this works for me. So thank you all for being here, whether you're live or you're watching the playback. Morning greetings from Brazil. Oh my gosh, yes. If you guys let me know where you're from in the comments. That's so fun. Hi, welcome. Moon Dancer, Tarot, and Astrology. I'm getting ready for work. Yay, beautiful. Okay, well, not because it depends on if you like your job or not. But thanks for tuning me on while you're getting ready. Okay, so I feel like this deserves a little bit of a recap before we get into chapters 5 through 10 of Earth Magic, just because I haven't been posting in the past week or so, And if I have posted, it's been because I came on and did a live stream, or I posted a live stream that I work for an environmental research center, so it's not bad. That sounds amazing. That's kind of what my brother is into for school. He has his master's. I think he's trying to get a PhD, but anyways, that's amazing. Basically, the videos that I've posted in the last week have been like recaps. I did an Instagram live where I opened up a little love package from a friend, and I was crying a whole lot there, and I was really tired and really emotional because I've had a really difficult week. I'm kind of like out of the big shitstorm that I think I am, but I haven't really been able to muster up filming or posting anything, and I feel like I cried in the last Witchy Book Club a little bit too. So I just want to let you guys know that I am okay. Your love and support has meant so much to me. I posted that Instagram live on YouTube because I just wanted to give an extra shout out to Heather, who sent me that package and her Etsy shop and stuff, but I didn't realize that it was going to get that much attention and that much views in such a short time. And so many comments and love, and like I just adore all of you, and thank you. That meant the world to me. But I just wanted to recap and tell you that I'm okay. The last few days has been really great, but yeah, it's gonna be an ongoing thing that we're just gonna have to come and take in stride and deal with in waves. And I know I'm being very vague, and that's super annoying, but it's personal, and the person that it is concerning has told me that they wish that I not speak of it. So I think a lot of you have like already guessed or hinted that it's my grandmother, just because I told you she was staying with me and stuff the day that I did the Witchy Book Club. So just send her some love, send her some peace, send her the good vibes that you can. But that's my little recap. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. I really appreciate it. Another reason why I've been kind of absent from other than like the live streams is because when I went on vacation in Oregon, I took my camera with me and I vlogged, and it's a ton of footage. Good morning from Virginia. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Empowered Intuitive from Virginia. Chaos Dabs said, hi, Sammy. I'm Jess from Canada. You're helping me on my tarot journey. I actually am getting the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit decks. Thanks for all the love. Hope you and Nana are okay. Love you, Sammy. Nana, thank you so much. I'm so glad that my videos are helping you. Danielle, you're in Virginia too? Hi. Wow, there's lots of people in Virginia. That's amazing. I bet you the weather is pretty nice there right now. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly say this and then we'll get right into the book. But when I went to Oregon, I took my camera, I took my charger, I took my 2 batteries, and I left my battery charger and my extra battery in the wall, plugged in the wall, and I was like freaking out. Hi, Rebecca, nice to see you this morning. I'm so glad you made it. So I only have 1 battery, which I was able to film 1 video with, and now it's like at 10%. It's not going to be able to last for a video. And I got a hold of the woman at the cabin we stayed at, and she said she found it, and I gave her my address, and she's shipping it to me, but like I don't know when, and I really don't want to go spend the money on another wall charger. But so I'm either going to be filming videos with my phone, which I don't really like doing, or I'm going to be holding off on filming videos unless I'm doing live streams until I can get this channel back. I know, isn't Danielle's Instagram so amazing? I love her Instagram. So that's why, if you guys are wondering, it's not as much because I've had like issues or things have been going on and I've been trying to deal with stuff with my grandma or whatever emotionally. It's mostly because I don't have a battery or a charger for my battery for my camera, and it's kind of nice. I've put my shop, my website on vacation mode when I went on vacation, and I'm really inspired, and I have all these videos and all these decks to unbox and all of these things to You are locked on my dashboard as I drive to work. Yay, Lindsay. Donna, what a good Monday Witchy Book Club, and Witch's Moonbox comes today. Oh, it does? Oh, nice. Then maybe I'll have to go live tomorrow too and do the unboxing tomorrow. It depends on whether I get it tomorrow. Sometimes I feel like I'm a couple days later than everybody else. Your video's lagging today. I'm sorry, Empowered Intuitive. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, so that's the thing. That's what I wanted to let you guys know of. I'm okay. Thank you for the love and support. I have so many videos, so many decks to unbox, so many things I want to talk about. I still haven't done my June favorites. I feel like, is it too late to do it? Probably not. It'll just be weird. So that, and I really wanted to talk about my year ahead card because it was so intense for me in June, which was the Nine of Swords, and the arrow from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. So videos will probably, when they come, be like vomited on my channel when I get my battery charger back. So yeah, my box still hasn't come. Usually it comes by the 5th. I don't even know what today is, Sam. I'm sorry. I get my first one this month. Oh, that's really exciting, Rebecca. That's awesome. I love monthly favorites. Okay, thank you, Lindsay. It just feels like it's already in the middle of July, so does anybody give a shit about what I liked in June and what I went through in June? So what I'll probably do is maybe mash up, no, I don't know, whatever. I'll just probably vomit a bunch of videos on my channel when I get my charger back. I hope you have a better week, Sammy. I'll catch the rest on replay. My internet is being dumb. I'm sorry, Empowered Intuitive, but thanks so much for joining in. Let me know what you think, and if you did the homework from last week, let me know in the comments below. So, no, please do. Okay, yeah, I will. I'm still going to make a video. Okay, let's get into the book. Nice little recap. Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm okay and that videos will be coming, but they're either going to be kind of shitty on my phone or they're going to be a crap ton right away because I got my charger back and I just filmed everything and then put it up on my channel. Okay, let's start off with talking about our homework. Who, please do the favorites. I definitely will do the favorites if anything, especially because you guys really like it. Your aura is glowing, Sammy. Wow, super bright, happy energy I'm picking up from you. Yeah, thanks. Oh my gosh, that means a lot because I've been kind of down. So I did, however, have a day where I went on a boat this weekend. And May had a lot to drink and just like floated on an inner tube, feeling all my goddess Coventina vibes in the lake. And it was really like healing for me, and it was really much needed. And I love water. I love swimming. I'm such a water baby. So that was really nice. So maybe that's what it is. I've been sun-kissed and rejuvenated by a little TLC and moonshine. Okay, so what did you guys think about the homework? I'm going to recap what our homework was really quick for the people who don't know, or maybe this is their first live stream with us or missed last live stream. But we went over part 1 last live stream. And I feel like I'm struggling a little bit with the writing in here, but it is bringing up great conversations. Our homework last week was to think about writing a story or doing a journal entry or a prompt or something concerning a bit of DNA. And we went over that with the readings and everything from part 1 and what Stephen Farmer brought up with DNA. So you could write a short story. What does this DNA know? What is it telling you? What does it want you to know? Or you could just kind of talk about DNA in general. It was just to get our minds going on a deeper level about what DNA is, how we can connect to it, maybe pulling out our creative side and thinking about maybe a piece of our DNA that has been with us over generations, or maybe was passed down by an ancestor, or maybe is a bit of new DNA that's found us this lifetime, whatever you guys wanted to do. So how, if you were in last week's live stream or you watched the playback and you did the homework, what kind of things did you guys find? Did you like it? Did you not? Did you want to do it but you got overwhelmed and didn't do it? I thought I was going to write a ton, and I kind of put this off to the last minute. So I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I was really, really excited for this homework. I love writing. I love creative writing. And I just thought this was a cool homework prompt. I did write about a page in my bullet journal. And I will tell you, I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. What did you guys discover? Did you write a lot? Did you only write like a little paragraph? Did you do any drawings? Tell me what you guys did with the homework. Anybody? Crickets? Crickets. Please do the favorites. Okay, your aura's glowing, Sammy. Okay. Anybody? Honestly, I didn't do the homework. I feel bad. Don't feel bad? It's not like I'm like, okay, Rebecca, you get an F for the day. It's fine. It ended up being shadow work for me. See, yeah, I kind of had a feeling this could go a couple different ways. Don't feel bad if you didn't do the homework. It's fine. It's honestly, it's like I'm not actually grading you guys. It's more so like here's some activities or prompts if you guys want to go deeper or if you want to do it, you can. If nobody did the homework, that's fine. I did it, and I can tell you about mine. But Lindsay says it was shadow work for you. If you want to share a little bit of what that was like, let me know. If not, that's personal. That's fine too. To be fair, I was in the hospital though. I know, Rebecca, I'm sorry. And I'm sending you all the healthy vibes. But you can only do what you can do. So, or maybe you just weren't interested in it, and that's okay too. Deborah, I read a little, but we have had a lot of illness in our house. Wow, okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that as well. It's been a difficult month. You know, we have like 5 planets retrograde right now or something crazy like that. I think it's 5 planets. I'd have to check an ephemeris, but I think 5 planets are currently retrograde. And on the 26th of this month, we have Mercury retrograde. So y'all, it is time for inner reflection. It is time for reevaluation. Just a whole bunch of stuff. It's a really intense time energetically and planetary wise. So I understand. Trust me. I'm picking up on it and trying to throw it away and work through it, but then throw it away. Defo interested. It's a good book. So yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys are, I don't know if you guys agree. Hold on, let me read Sam's comment. I think it's supposed to get up to 7. I have burned myself twice and bruised my big toe from dropping a massive water bottle on it. This retrograde is trying to kill me. You're funny, Sam. Yeah, I'm trying to think, to me, it's manifesting in different ways, but holy moly. Ooh, I did the homework. I got a personal message from my ancestors, and it was really intense. I loved it. That's amazing. That's kind of what I thought. That's kind of how I thought mine would end up, even though I only wrote a page. Danielle says, yeah, I haven't bought the book, and I probably won't. It just really like the live chat, but I definitely get whatever our next book is. Okay, cool. I feel you, Danielle. It's good. Moon Dancer, Tarot, and Astrology. Jupiter is going, though, so it's looking up. Yeah, I know. I love retrogrades. Good morning, everybody. Hi, good morning. Welcome. I love retrogrades. I love the dark stuff. I love the internal work. I love the inner reflection. I'm a Virgo ascendant. I am a hermit in nature. I love inner work, inner reflection. I knew what you meant. Moon Dancer. But to have such an intense energy all at once with everything retrograde, it's kind of like, honey, give it to me in like a 5-course meal, okay? I don't need the buffet. Like, just give me a dish at a time so I can pace myself here. I love Mercury retrograde. Sometimes it is such a bitch. But to me, with my chart ruler being Mercury, my sun and ascendant ruled by Mercury, I feel like it is such a great time for me. I want to do a live stream or a video on, Mercury retrograde. There's been a lot of great videos out there, but just for myself and my 2 cents, I would love to express that. But we have a lot of things going on planetary wise that is a little challenging for everybody to handle at once, I think. And we'll get through it. And all of this is lessons, and all of this is, I feel, put in place for our souls to kind of evolve, and some things to happen that need to happen, whether it seems like it's great or not. But we're all here together. Anyways, look, it's gone cold already, you guys. Okay, my homework manifested a little bit differently. I'm not going to read it to you guys because I don't know. I feel like I didn't write it very well. But I kind of talked about it, and it kind of came up for me in a sense of, I know, I'm sorry. I think I was so excited and so overwhelmed by all of the possibilities I could write about and all the different ways that this could go that it kind of like stopped me from wanting to write anything. So I just started writing. And what was weird is that it came up where I talked about the bit of DNA in me that has been with me since the beginning of time. And it morphs and changes each lifetime in each body for me. But it isn't a bit of DNA that's more so passed down by ancestors or more so like that. It's a imprint of my DNA that's come with me through all of my lifetimes, and it manifests itself in a birthmark that I have on the top of my thigh, and how each lifetime the birthmark is different and in a different place, but the DNA that comprises it has been with me the whole time. And how I kind of go into talking about how, like, because I'm writing it from the piece of DNA's perspective, so I say stuff like, this soul, this lifetime, forgets what the meaning from last lifetime is, but sometimes she'll look at it and remember or think back and have a flash from the story from last lifetime kind of thing. And what was weird is that I've had this thought subconsciously, but I never really acknowledged it too much. And writing it out, I was describing what the birthmark looks like this lifetime and how it's a little teeny, like almost like an arrowhead or like a jagged triangle on the top of my right thigh, and how this piece of DNA is manifesting this lifetime to remind me of a past lifetime where I died from an injury, an infection of a sword or a wound in the top of my leg from either battle or, whatever happened. And that's why a bit of me this lifetime is so terrified of pain or so terrified of violence, is because whatever happened to me in the last lifetime was very traumatic and very painful and terrifying. And it was weird because I think of a lot of my past lifetimes and like irrational fears or things that I have and how that might connect with stuff like that, because I think it's really fun to think about, and some of it really resonates and some of it's just really fun to think about. But this birthmark is kind of crazy to me. And I've seen and love watching like the kids who remember their last lifetime and can like tell you exactly who they're related to, how they died, when they died, where they died, and they have flashbacks. And then there's a lot of cool videos like on YouTube if that interests you, or maybe you already know, but there's some really cool, kind of terrifying to think about actually, for like a child to remember how they died. Like a lot of kids remembering in Pearl Harbor, or there was this one child who was a man her last lifetime, and she died on a bike getting hit by a car, and then when she reincarnated, she was a young girl, but she remembered all her family and everything and where she lived and how she died. And then they met the family because they lived like down the road from each other, and he died like a couple days before she was born, kind of thing. I don't know, it's really cool. But anyways, I've seen those, and like the people have the same birthmarks in like almost the same space. So that's kind of cool. And I think that's maybe where my mind went to, or maybe I really am picking up on something that was valid for me. I died in a fire multiple times, Rebecca. I've thought that too, because I really don't have much connection to fire. In fact, I'm very afraid of fire. Out of all the elements, I relate the least to fire. And even though I'm constantly lighting matches and candles and lighters, I think it's different than, I don't really like fireworks. I love bonfires, but like as soon as like a little piece of ash like comes towards me, I like freak out. Like I just don't really like fire. So I thought about that too. Maybe I died in a fire, or I don't know. Um, Oh my God, my husband and I watched a few of those. I know, Heather, they're so interesting to me. The things that I don't like about them are like, oh, okay, we have this young boy who's like 5. He knows everything about planes. He knows how to fix them. He knows what all of these little parts are called because he used to be a pilot in his last lifetime. He remembers what his name was, who his wife was, where he lived, where he died. And then they take him to the places that he's talking about and the kid freaks out. Like there's a couple videos like that where the kid just like shuts down because he doesn't know how to disassociate from one lifetime to the next. And it's really, really sad to me that they put that child through, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. But I'm fascinated with stuff like that. I don't know about you guys. We saw one where a boy was a woman in his past life and he said he died in a burning building. I think I've seen that. Actually, I have a playlist on my channel called paranormal, my favorite paranormal stories, and I think that I've put a couple of those kinds of videos in there. So if you guys are into like fun ghost stories or hauntings or like paranormal investigations or psychic children or all that good stuff that we're all about, you can look at that playlist on my channel, and I think a couple of those like reincarnated videos of children are in there. Deborah says, I died of alcohol poisoning in a past life, and when I was little, I hated to see when someone drank. I would get really upset and hardly drink now as an adult. That's really interesting, actually. Rebecca, we have to talk someday about this. I have been dreaming about a past connection. Yes. And his family checked into it, and the building he spoke of did burn down, and the woman he kept saying he actually died in the building. We got goosies. Yeah, I mean, honestly, so interesting to me. I've had dreams too where I was standing in a mirror and I felt like myself and I knew that I was myself on the inside. I knew it was me, the same me, but when I was looking in the mirror, I was getting married and I had a wedding dress and I was African American, and like I remember looking in the mirror and knowing it was me, but having like this glimpse or like this deja vu or like this disassociation that I'm talking about, to where like I remembered that, like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. I mean, that could have just been symbology for something else going on in my life, but in that, when I woke up from that dream, it felt different than like a symbolic way of representing something in my subconscious. It almost felt like a memory, you know? This had a big impact on my life. On the Road by Jack Kerouac. Yeah, great book. That's so interesting. Okay, so anyways, yeah, that was kind of where it came up for me, was me going into this little bit of DNA that's come with me each lifetime, that's here to imprint some sort of mark, birthmark, beauty mark or something on my body to remind me of something that happened in a past lifetime. And in this body, in this lifetime, it manifests as a little triangle on my top thigh from some sort of knife or sword wound that I had, that ultimately got infected, and that if it didn't kill me, that it like was the catalyst for me getting other illnesses that ended up, making me pass away, which is weird because yeah. Anyways, all right, let's get into the chapters. How do I feel about this book? I've kind of already said it, but here's my pause, I should say, with like full out telling you, like, there's some valid things in here. There's some really interesting topics in here. I feel like if you're totally brand new to anything spiritual, anything, just like if you're having your first spiritual awakening and you just don't know where to go, or you don't have any information and everything's all brand new, I feel like this book is a good starter. But I also feel like, and I'm leery about, bashing the book or saying anything super negative. One, because if somebody's watching this back or you guys are live and you're like loving this book, I don't want to take that away from you. I don't want to make you second guess yourself because of my opinion on it. And also, I want to respect the author, because even though I might not be jiving as much with the book, you know, this person has put time and effort and love into writing this, and I would never want to, you know, I want to give my opinion and kind of critique things, but I also don't want to, I want to be respectful. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Why wouldn't it make sense? Here's my thing. There's a couple things in here that seem like, I guess maybe I like books on a little bit more of a practical side, or more of like a down to earth kind of side, and this to me is very like la ti ta ti ta 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 ta. So eloquently spoken myself. I think you guys know what I mean if you have the book and you're reading it. There is parts in here like where he brings up really great things like spirit guides and um uh ancestors and stuff like that. And I also don't want to be disrespectful to the shamanic practices, because this is kind of my first glimpse into shamanism, or you know, how it's being broken down, because all of these topics I've touched on before in different areas of my life, or been, you know, either connected with myself, or, you know, been taught along the way in different ways. But I don't think I'm jiving with Stephen's writing or his approach to kind of handing us this like basic knowledge of shamanism. To me, it's too airy fairy. But the things that are being brought up are still great for us to talk about, because it brings up really great conversation kind of thing. I recently experienced workplace bullying. I explored the possibility that we exchanged DNA, and therefore I could often feel the negative energy even when we weren't physically in the room. Ooh, yeah, that's like what we talked about last time. That's really interesting, Lindsay. To me, that was like such a cool way to think about things. Like, think about the way that you interact with people. If you give somebody a hug, whatever your energy is when you're giving them that hug, a bit of your DNA might go off in them, and they might carry that with them. So be mindful of how much you're giving out or what you're taking in, kind of thing. And yeah, definitely I can see that correlating to the workplace and what you were describing. Hi, Angelica. Angie, what's up, girl? Yes, so I guess I wanted to get that off the bat. Like, I want to be respectful of the shamanistic practices, because I am in no way that knowledgeable on like the protocol of things. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful, and I also don't want to disrespect the author, because they put love and energy into it. But it's just a bit foo-foo-y for me. And there's some things in which he words things where it has to be a certain way, and I don't like that. And I don't remember exactly what it was. It was like, I think it was about your power animal, like the only way or the one way to, and I just don't like that. I don't like the one way or the only way for anything. It's just not me. Maybe that's the Gemini in me, where I want all of the ways. But any book that kind of goes like the one way or the only way to do something kind of bothers me. I wrote down the page. I can't, or I thought I did. Controversial topic. I think it was for soul loss. I put something like, I don't like this, and I can't remember where it is. Sorry, guys. Oh, spiritual healers. Maybe it was the first chapter, spiritual healers. I did like him going over ethics. I thought that that was great. So in chapter 5, we're starting on chapter 5. Spiritual healing. He goes over ethics, do what you do and do no harm. Great. I love that. I think I even put it in my Instagram story, like, yes, that is me. That is how I go about things. You notice I don't talk about things such as curses or hexes, or, you know, I'm not about that. I ain't about that witchy life. There's lots of spell work and magic that I do in my day-to-day life, but it's always concerning the better. And I do believe that energy can get attached to us, so we can attach certain energies to other people. but I feel whatever we put out, we get tenfold. So I am not about, what is happening here? I am not about, I'm not about revenge. I'm not about placing negativity in other people's lives. And I believe that I've seen great effects. There's been times where I've wished ill on people, and it has just come back to make me sick or make me ill or make me have a hard time with things. Whereas if I have let go of relationships in, as they say, love and light, the experience that I've had with that has been amazing. I had a really dysfunctional on and off relationship through my teens and early 20s. Was like on and off again for like 5 years or so, like first love kind of thing. I think we were so young. We got into really bad things, and I was really connected with him, and I still believe that our souls were connected from a past life. Even when we were like 15 and meeting each other, we were saying things like, I met you too young. And for us to know that at 15, like we just knew that we had known each other before, but that the timing wasn't right this lifetime, but we still kind of forced it. But so it was really difficult for me to let go of ill feelings, or to let go of the guilt of the things that I didn't do the greatest in the relationship, and also with blaming him and all of these things. And it just got to a point where like I was like sick with just either jealousy or guilt or regret or lust or wanting and all of these like really difficult feelings. And I remember, and I know that this sounds like, oh my gosh, so spiritual cliche, but I can tell you it was one of the most healing things I've ever done. Is I remember I was going to bed one night, and I knew that he was with somebody else and that he was happy and all of these things, but I just was so deep and dark inside of myself, for so many reasons. I couldn't let it go. And instead of like wallowing in that, I like envisioned him perfect. I envisioned him happy. I envisioned him completely abundant and successful with a good career and a good inflow of money and not carefree. I imagined him in love and having a family, and I imagined him like getting the things he wanted and traveling and doing all these things. And I remember like really wanting and feeling that and envisioning that from him, and like just seeing him glowing and happy. And then I like envisioned a cord from me and him, and me just kind of like cutting that cord. And I know this is like something I've talked about before, and something that's like kind of common to talk about is like cutting the cord, but it's not cutting the cord in a sense of like, I can't handle you anymore. It's like letting somebody go with love. And that for me was experienced the best by like really seeing that person 100% happy and envisioning them and wanting that for them, because in return, me wanting them to be happy meant I could disconnect myself from that. And like ever since that day, the feelings towards the situation, the past, the present, my connections, and everything like that was completely changed. And I kept getting little glimpses or hints in my life, whether through social media or hearing things through the grapevine of like, this person has this, or this person's doing this, and this person has just done this. And instead of me having those pangs of guilt or fear or anxiety or regret or doubt or jealousy, it was like, oh my gosh, good for him. That's amazing. And I felt that genuinely. And there's always going to be a part of us when we're connected with somebody or whatever. But for me, I don't know how I got off on this tangent, but I guess do what you do and do no harm. Feeling that in a sense of like, instead of letting somebody go with like, I can't handle you anymore, you're toxic for me, having the mindset around like, I'm letting you go and I'm wishing the best for you, but it's not good for us anymore. So I don't know. Anyways, let me go back a bit and read your guys' things. Okay. I enjoy the book, but I know what you're talking about. Oh no, I have to turn the sound off here, guys. Okay, sorry. Not about contributing to the negativity either. Every time I get a migraine, I have to examine what anger I'm holding on to. Ooh, yes, feel you, Deborah. Luckily, I don't get migraines or headaches anymore. Yay! Because mine was mostly spurred by dietary reasons. Curses and hexes don't really work the way most people think. White folk really demonize practices like voodoo and Roman. Oh my gosh, I'm getting notifications to make us look evil and bad. Yeah, I need to try that. Letting go is so difficult. It is. And I'm not saying it's just as easy for everyone, or like if you try this, it's gonna like work and be amazing. But for me in that time when I did it, how I did it, and the way that it happened, it was really eye-opening to me. I really learned what it meant to let somebody go with love, or to send them love and light. Like literally, I was just sending him love and light. I was like telling him like thank you in my mind, like thank you for what we've experienced, thank you for what we connected with, thank you for the good times, thank you for the bad times, like I wish you the best, go you do you boo now. And for me in that time it really worked, and I see him very happy now in my mind and from what I hear from other people, so that's really good. Angie, I had something similar, but I didn't release him. I wished him to receive what he had ever done to me, and yet I wanted him to live his life how he deserved it. I remember I always had dreams of him, and I wished he could stop thinking of me. I thought the dreams were our connections still there, and I wanted them to stop. Moon Dancer, okay, I have to go to work. Love the live, thank you. Bye, Moon Dancer, Tarot and Astrology. Have a good day at work. Lindsay, I think the tangent was meant for me. This was so healing and exactly what I needed this morning. I feel so much more at peace and lighter already. Yay! Oh my gosh, good, Lindsay, I'm so excited. Hi, Butterfly Magic, good morning. Okay, so, moving on. He like watches this later and is like, oh, she's talking about me. Thanks for all that money, abundance, and love. You're welcome. You're welcome. Not that it was my doing, but I felt better once I let you go. All right, blah, 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 blah. Let's see about chapter 6. What comes up in chapter 6? We talk about the importance of community. Oh, spiritual healers. I put that I did not agree in the last one. There's stuff in here, and I can't even remember what it is. Honestly. But there was some things, like I said, that he worded where I was like, no, honey. Nothing is the only way for anything, okay? So if I actually come across, I'll let you guys know. So chapter 6, the importance of community. It talks about online community. Okay, so it talks about real life community, family, friends, and then also, you know, not just the dog ate my homework. Oops. That's all right, Butterfly Magic. You can redo it if you want. Maybe I'll make your guys' homework easier, less stressful this week. I thought it was a great idea. Okay, so this was really cool for me because it's a really short chapter. It's only like a page and a half or something, 2 pages. Talking about the importance of community and when we get together, and he tells a little story about how he was writing the book, but instead he chose to like go to the beach with, you know, family, and how when he's looking back at his life, he's not going to think, you know, oh, I wish I would have stayed home and wrote that book. He would have thought, you know, I wish I would have gone to the beach and spent time with family more, kind of thing. And this brought up 2 things for me. And if you guys want to chime in on anything, feel free. But 2 things. One was the importance of community. And he kind of like skips over like the internet community, which I get because he's more talking about like that physical interaction, like that one-on-one being with people, spending time with people. But for me, the way that I view internet community or like social media community is so much different than I think a lot of people think, and you guys understand because you're here and you're supporting me whether you're watching playback or not. You're a part of this Witchy Book Club, you're a part of this community. But a lot of people think like, oh, I'm on Instagram, so I'm a part of that community. No, it's like the interaction between people, whether in the flesh or on a live stream or just in a comment section. That development, those relationships are genuine and are pure and are doing something to fulfill us if done in the right way. And a good example of that is that I didn't want to just brush off the internet community. One, because of what you guys have shown me in the love in the last week of the couple live streams where I was crying because I had a hard week and dealing with really intense things with my grandma. But like that, like taking the time out of your day to watch somebody's video, to comment down below something nice, to cheer somebody up, like that vibration, that energy, that mindset, that work that you're doing matters. It matters to me, it matters to you, it matters to the other people who read that comment. It matters just in a broad sense of you putting out that energy and interacting with people and using, your energy for good, sending love to somebody or support. But also I was thinking in the sense of like, the internet has allowed me to make really deep friendships that like I spend a lot of my time interacting with now. And this is gonna get like so sappy, but my online community is my entire community. Yeah, I bet, Rebecca, especially with your situation, that's awesome. I genuinely love them. You like family. Yes, same. And I think it's important because nowadays, I think it is really healthy to have a balance, if you can, of both. But I don't want to dismiss the online community because it really affects me. Like the things that happened recently with a certain channel and how it just kind of rippled effect out to other people, and they were making different videos and they were discussing things, and that energy mattered and matters still, in whatever way you each want to gobble that up and digest it, but it matters. The things that we do, the things we put out in the internet matters almost more because of the fact that it's like solidified. So like you have an event that happens in your real life in a community or maybe in a friend group, and like it happens, people talk about it, it's spreading the energy and everything. But when you put a video up or when you post a comment, unless you delete it or somebody else deletes it, it's there. It is forever and always, unless something happens technology wise, going to be spreading that energy or be interacting with certain things. Your words matter. What you choose to watch matters. What you choose to put up on the internet matters. And to think about that a little bit deeper. But on the sappier side, like this internet has made me, the internet, I sound like an old woman. Just talking about my two friends that I talk with every day. And that's Skylar. I talk about him a lot. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he is around on Instagram and stuff. And I met him through my daily vlog channel, and he reached out to me on Snapchat, and he was just so funny and fun. And then we just started talking, and we've been like so intensely connected since. And I talk to him every day. He makes me laugh harder than anybody ever. And he's now coming to visit me for a weekend. He's going to be staying with George and the kids and I in September, and we're going to be going to a roller coaster theme park and just like giggling like crazy. And so the connection with the internet and the community is not something to glance over or just kind of push to the side. I get why he wanted to focus on like real life interactions with family and friends and the importance of that, definitely. And then also Imogen, and I'm not trying to call her out, I don't want to embarrass her or anything, but I talk to her every day. Our relationship's really important, and although she's, in London, and being able to meet her in person seems like such a far-fetched thing, it's not. And I cherish my connection with her. I cherish our friendship. I cherish our conversations. There's things that I have talked to her about, or that us three, Skylar and Imogen and I, have talked about, where I don't think I would ever tell anybody else. And having that intimacy and that, connection, friendship-wise, and a community with them is very important. Even though we're not in the flesh, it's still really important who you're interacting with, how you're interacting, where you, you know, decide to put your energy, and to think about as well. I'm going to go back and read your guys' comments, but things, so we were talking about like, we touched briefly on like sending negativity or you know, doing hexes or curses. And if that's your thing, like, I'm not putting you down, like, you do you, boo. I don't feel like it actually is beneficial to anybody. But think about it in this way too. And this is just gonna sound kind of funny because I'm like on a live stream. When you thumbs down a video, it does nothing for you. Because it's not like Pandora, where like, oh, you thumbs down this song, they're not going to play you other songs like it. All it does is kind of send a little bit of negativity. And that's okay. If you really don't like the content of a video and you really need to express that somehow, you know, thumbs down the video, whatever, that's your choice. But all it kind of does is keep that negativity out there, or keep that, like, I'm only going to thumbs up videos I like. I'm not going to thumbs down a video. Because to me, like, I don't like it, I just won't watch it. And I know a lot of people say that, but then what's the thumbs down for? But to me, and there's someone in this community that's like from Australia or something, and I guess other people have talked about this person who just like comes on everybody's video and immediately thumbs down all of our videos. So like every single one of my videos will have just like one thumbs down, or maybe 2 or 3 thumbs down. But that one thumbs down is like from the same person, and everybody knows who it is. I don't know who it is. But what is that person? And if you're watching this, like, how are you spending your time? If you genuinely don't like the videos that you're trying to thumbs down, maybe you're doing this for religious beliefs, or maybe you just are kind of cranky, or whatever your idea of, like, that you think that this is going to promote, like, it's not going to stop me from doing what I love. All it's going to do is I'm going to look at that thumbs down and kind of feel bad for you, or kind of feel like you're keeping that negativity out there. Like the little things that we do, whether in real life, the way that we interact with our people that we're getting coffee from, or, you know, the way that we might get irritated when somebody cuts us off in traffic, whatever you're doing, your ripple effect is going out energetically. And I'm not being like, no one thumbs down my videos because they're amazing. If you genuinely feel like you hate what I'm saying, you hate what I'm doing, and you feel like you have to put the thumbs down, it's there for a reason. But honestly, it's not doing any good for you. It's not doing any good for me. It's not going to change like the algorithm of your YouTube, where you're never going to see me come up. In fact, you clicked on my video in the first place, so it might recommend more of my videos to you. So you're better off just only putting out good, you know? I know, maybe I'm getting too preachy. I don't know, let me go back and read. Oh, goodness gracious. See, the online community is my only witchy community. I have friends, families, they are siblings, and they are the only ones I look at face to face who think like me. Everyone else around me doesn't. Honestly, Sammy, I feel more connected to you than I do a lot of people I know in my own area. Yeah, that was something else I wanted to bring up, and I totally agree, Sam. Like, we've never had a face-to-face conversation, but I feel like I know you so deeply. I feel like I care about you. I care about the people you care about. You know, I genuinely do, and that's because we have made an interaction and a connection and a relationship through this community. So I guess I wanted to touch on that a little bit more, because we could talk about the ways in which our friends and our family influence us, but I think it's specifically for this witchy, pagan, spiritual, tarot, you know, bullet journal community. However you found me, or however you found this community, or whatever you consider this community, is fine. But the way that we're interacting with each other, there's so many people who have limited resources to friends or people that think the same way as them, or that want to talk about the same things as them. And I struggle with that in my life too. I have pretty good foundation of friends, and some of them are like interested in what I have to say, but they don't do that themselves. Like, I don't have, you know, I don't have a coven. I don't have friends or a group that I go to that I talk just tarot with, because I had to make it for myself. Like, that's why I'm doing this, because I'm reading these books, because I'm interested in these topics, because I want to discuss things with people that care about the same things as me, and I can't find them in real life. So I'm trying to draw y'all to me so that we can interact together and like create our friends. And that's what's so cool about the internet, so cool about social media, is if it's used in the right way, it's like the biggest manifestation tool, you know, to get people in your life that you can connect with. I met my husband online to married him 4 weeks after meeting 4 years ago, almost now. Oh yeah, I think I remember you saying that, Rebecca. That's so amazing. Online communities are basically where kindred spirits seek each other out. Ah, that's such a cool way of thinking about that. Yes. Everyone's like, yes, Sam, we are not worthy. Yeah, down with the haters. Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, you guys have been saying a lot. I'm sorry, let me catch up here. I got a thumbs down and hostile, vulgar comments on my video, and unfortunately, I allowed that effect to affect my work. I let it affect me and slow creative work for my own channel. We'll get back on track. That's the thing too. Like, it sucks because I've had those comments. What's harder for me is those comments were like they're actually touching on kind of valid points that I've thought about myself and that are like insecurities of myself. So it's like I've talked about this before. Like, it doesn't do me any harm or foul when I see someone comment like nice tits or like you're the worst, down with you, you're the devil. Like, that doesn't really bother me. But it's when someone comes in and kind of makes a comment like really angry or mean or kind of like poking at the insecurities that I already feel. It's like, what is that doing for you? You just took time out of your day to make somebody else feel bad or to kind of poke. Like, you think I'm not going to read the comments? Like, I don't have that many subscribers. Like, yes, I read all the comments, even though I don't reply back to all of you guys because that's intense. But like, I read them all. Like, I'm sure these people think, but they word it in a way where they think I won't see it or what. Like, I don't know. Just think about what you do and how you go about doing it, because it. Yeah, I'm sorry, butterfly magic. Well, hello, well said. Well, I don't know why I said that, April. Hi, April. A lot of us don't live in areas with like-minded people. I would never thumbs down a video. You know, I say when I disagree, but I'm never rude. There's no need. This community has been the best, and on the thumbs down button, I live by the policy, take what you need and leave the rest. Exactly. Listen, I ramble, okay? There's sometimes I say things or I'll go back and have to like reply to a comment and I'll hear something I said in a video and go like, ugh. You know, but we're always evolving, we're always growing. We're never all going to be on the same exact mindset and path. There's things that I watch of my favorite channels in the whole world and like the people that I just love and adore, and sometimes they'll say something and I'll be like, I don't really agree with that. Or I'm not really fond of the way that you put that, or I wish you wouldn't have gone that way with that. But that's them, that's their truth. I'm watching their video, I'm coming into their energy. You know, I don't know. I'm ranty this morning, you guys. I think this kind of people don't think about these consequences spreading negativity. Yeah, obviously. Somebody who spends their time like only thumbs down videos as soon as they come up and just like going and then not leaving any comments or whatever. It's just, obviously they don't think about that. I kind of want to rant about oh my gosh, why can't I say that word? I know what you're saying, of my culture, the way hexes and curses are seen. I mean, how you use them like anything. My grandfather taught me to use hexes to drive out illnesses. Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, I think it's just the I won't though. I'll breathe and shut up. I know what you mean, and I guess I don't know really how to word that or how to go with it. I think we're on the same page, but you know what I mean when I say hexes and curses. More so looking at like the online community and the my phone won't stay in focus and it's driving me crazy. Like the newer like, okay, there's a lot of like witchy channels that like will just show them making their spell work and like show them like this person did this to me and this is my like revenge spell, or like you tried to do this to me so here you go, here's it back kind of thing. Like, ugh, not my jam. Not my jam. I don't connect with that energetically. I don't connect with that spiritually. I don't think that it's doing anything. If you guys live your life that way and that works for you, great. But I think there is something valid about the mindset of like hexing or banishing certain things from you that you can't seem to get rid of. You know, it's not all love and light. Let me envision this person with, you know, abundance and money and love, and then cut the cord. I do get that. Sometimes you need to get grittier, and sometimes you need to dig deeper and really do some powerful spell work as far as like banishing energy or banishing illness or banishing things from you with hexes and stuff like that. I guess maybe it's kind of like the connotation in the word witch nowadays, and how hexes and curses and voodoo and all of those words have different meanings and different connotations because of the way that, at least culturally, they've been kind of misconstrued. I know what you mean though, Rebecca. Oh my God, Rebecca, same. I met my fiance, Victoria Lynn said, I met my fiance only, and 2 months later we're engaged, going on 4 years together in December. Cute! All the loves. I know you mean people trying to use the craft to hurt others, yes, and I feel like it's important to be clear. Yep. And hopefully I did. But yeah, I think, well, let's move on. Because we're only on chapter 6, and I got a little ranty. I'm feeling ranty this morning. So, oh, well, no. I was going to say, like, going back a little bit, I wrote introvert, extrovert. I said, you know, community is sometimes hard for people who feel introverted or who have a hard time socializing in a real life sense. And I do feel like there are definite benefits for being in person with someone. The energy is going to be completely different. The you know, the way that you're interacting with people are going to be totally different when you're in person than you are online. But for people who have extreme social anxiety that still want to connect with people, or people who are really introverted and don't know how to begin, I feel like it's not the best idea to solely rely on, you know, internet connections with people. If you have to, kind of like Rebecca's situation a lot of the times, but I feel like that might be kind of a rare case. But I don't really recommend solely relying, if possible, on just connecting with people on the internet. But it's a really great tool for people who are more shy or don't know how to start, or want to connect with people and want to interact with a certain community, but feel nervous to kind of go out into the real world and get together with a friend or try to make new friends or try to find a relationship. It kind of breaks that ice a little bit easier. So I think a lot of the times people focus on the negativities or the downsides of like how there's not as much interaction face to face nowadays because there's the internet, and how when we're together, you know, we're always having our faces in our phones. That is all valid, but I also think that's kind of like washed out and drowned out for what people talk about a lot, and people don't focus as much on like the benefits, you know. I'm still ranting. Okay. So the next chapter is chapter 7. It's spiritual causes for emotional and physical illness. This is another thing I kind of want to tread really lightly on, that I feel like Stephen D. Farmer just kind of casually, like, he puts in a writing in such a way it's almost pretentious to me, and I really don't mean, he's really just trying to put the facts out of like the basics of shamanistic practices and healing, and like break down like their, you know, their kind of like outline of what they work with, you know, soul loss, loss of power, trauma, like PTSD, PTSD and soul loss, these kinds of things. But I guess it's like the way that it's written for me is kind of difficult to swallow, whereas like sometimes it's not that easy to think of, you know. It's kind of a touchy thing. Like, there's people out there that I could say, like, it's hard for me because this chapter covered PTSD, which is something that I'm currently dealing with my grandmother. And this is something that, like, I'm really treading lightly because, again, I'm, like, I've made promises to her that I would keep things separate. But I just want to say that, like, this one, someone who follows you and your channel started following me the other day on Instagram, and we just found out we live only 30 minutes away from each other. Kind of cool. So thanks, Sammy, for a new friend. Oh my gosh, yay! Who is that? Never mind. Tell me later, Heather. Hi to everybody who's just joining in. I'm really ranty and talking kind of rambly thoughts. I think this is, okay, this was a hard chapter for me because some of it's like, yes, I get this. Like, this is difficult and touchy subject, and I feel like it needs to be worded very specifically because I think there's very valid things here. Energetically, being able to heal diseases or heal difficulties, either mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever it is that, you know, we're trying to mend. But sometimes it goes way deeper than just being like, you have a soul loss, or, you know, you're dealing with these things. And the way that it's kind of broken down was kind of like, I don't know, I had a hard time with this chapter, and I'm afraid to say something that I don't want to say, or kind of like say things that I don't really have the validity to be able to speak upon because I don't deal with a lot of the things, you know what I'm saying? But what I can tell you is, yeah, I know, I wish we could meet up too, you guys. Maybe one day. So it's funny that he goes over these different things, like loss of power, spiritual intrusions, soul loss, and then PTSD. Because I feel like PTSD is really important, and it's a really significant thing, especially in our culture today, and even back in Civil War or other places around the world, it's definitely a thing. Yeah, Rebecca, I kind of had a feeling you'd feel that way. Rebecca says she threw the book against the wall. That chapter is bullshit. I'll say it. So, but the thing is like, there is things and topics that are brought up in here that, like, I get and that are valid to a certain point, but I think it was the way that it was worded for me that was like, oh, it's just that simple. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. Oh, it's just that simple. Like, at the root of it, maybe it is, but sometimes it is not that simple. Like, it is not, I don't know. I just felt like it was pretentious, you guys. I just was like, I wasn't about it. I didn't read this book, but PTSD isn't your soul being lost. My wife was hit by an 18-wheeler. That's her spirit being lost. No, I get what you're saying, but no, like, they're two separate parts. Soul loss is a different section in this chapter than PTSD, but kind of, but not really. Like, he's describing PTSD as something completely different, but then it's just written in such a rude and offensive way. I wasn't going to say anything. No, but, like, that's the thing. Like, I want to be respectful of the author because he did his best. He wrote things which he thought was valid and he thinks is valid, and he put love and energy and time. It's like thumbsing down a video. Like, I want to give my critique, and this is Witchy Book Club, and we're talking about the writings and how we connected with certain things. And if I'm being honest with you, this chapter didn't really make me too happy. The thing we will talk about and focus on the good stuff about it is it helped me take a look at PTSD a little bit differently because I'm currently dealing with some things along those lines, if not that exact thing, with my grandmother. And, you know, typically when we think of PTSD, we think of a soldier or someone who's gone through extreme traumatic instances of war or violence in that sense. Because I feel like culturally that's the most we see PTSD manifesting in people, but then there's these other really weird ways that it's happening. And I think it was just kind of weird when I'm going through and reading this and I'm like, oh, here we go. Okay, tell me about this now. Sure. Oh, that's cute. I'm so glad you were able to word that so gently. Like, oh, yeah, okay. And then it was like, boom, PTSD. And I was like, oh. So there is things in here that I'm trying to take away and trying to find how they connect with me. And to me, that was kind of weird that it was like right there. So it did on some level helped me get a different perspective on things. But I'm going to agree with Rebecca and say that at the basis, I get he's trying to lay out the foundations and groundwork for healing in a shamanic way, or what the shamanic practices kind of approach healing but I guess maybe it was the way that it was written where I was like, okay. Next chapter. Chapter 8. Ancestral Spirit Guides. Oh God, this is like, it brings up such deep, intense conversations, right? It's like I said, the writing is like, oh, cute, like what a cute little story, or what a cute thing to bring up. Like, can we just be like practical and honest and like raw here, instead of like, as I was traveling through blah 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 and beating on the drum of the ancient, you know, like, I don't know, maybe I don't jive with that very much. But in this chapter, he describes, hold on, let me read what you guys said. Angie says, like you said about the videos, it's his space and his energy and his input, but we don't always disagree with his opinions, but I'm trying to give him time to finish the book and see how it ends. Right, and like, I'm trying to take, like, if I'm going to continue reading it, if we're going to continue talking about it, let's use it as a tool. Like, let's talk about things in a different way. Or if we don't like something, how it's worded, let's word it in the way we want to and talk about it in the way we want to talk about it. Like I did with the community. He focused a lot on the community, you know, in person and family and friends, and the importance of getting together with people, which I definitely get. I can tell you, hands down, one of the best healing things that I did energetically, mentally, emotionally for myself was going out with friends on the boat the other day and just kind of letting loose and drinking some moonshine and being in the water and being in the sunshine and interacting with friends. But also, just as healing is me taking an hour or two in the morning on Mondays and setting up a live stream and interacting with people that are like-minded and that believe in the same things as me. So it's just as powerful and used in different ways. So, all right, so blah, blah, blah. He talks in chapter 8 about how he heard his grandfather speak to him, which is his main spirit guide, about like walking on the bones of his ancestors, and imagine if it was 100 years and then 10,000 years and 100,000 years, and he got so out of breath that he had to like sit down to think about what that meant. And again, that's a valid experience that he had, and I guess maybe his writing just doesn't speak to me as much, and I'm so sorry if this author ever reads this, because I appreciate the time that you took to share your experiences. And I guess we'll talk about it in this way. Like, is he trying too hard? Yeah, that's kind of what I feel like. What it made me think about is it talked about, there's two things I want to bring up. And the first being he said that his grandfather, or he feels connected to like Native American roots. And I think that that's really common in the US, or what he has found has been like wherever you're at, a lot of people feel connected to the Aboriginal kind of people from wherever you're from, you know? And that made me think of my grandmother. Excuse me, let me drink my cold tea. I'm always thinking of my grandmother, but I've talked about this before, but maybe if you're new or whatever, it bears repeating. That because he's talking about ancestral guides and stuff. So I have 3 main spirit guides that I currently work with. They came to me very differently than my grandma found hers. She found her main spirit guide through a meditative experience that she did in a group session where like they went to meet their spirit guides. And she was just talking to me about this the other day, actually. But my grandpa, my papa, who's passed now, was with her, and he met his spirit guide too. And she's told me about her main spirit guide many, many times. But she's never told me that he was there and that he met his spirit guide. So they did this exercise that, you know, they imagined this old elevator or like one of those like bay doors on a building where like you pull it up and you slowly see whatever it is there. And so it was like a meditative thing that they did guided, where they would first see the feet of their guide. What does it look like? What are you feeling, kind of thing. And then the door lifted up more until they finally revealed their spirit guide, and it was a really life-changing thing for my grandmother and for my papa. So my papa's spirit guide is Helga. She's big, she's strong, she's a brute, and she's, I think, Russian or German, or I don't know what my grandma said, but she had this very guttural voice, and she has no nonsense, no business, and that was my grandma. And it's so funny because knowing my grandpa, it just made me laugh that, like, he would have such a I don't know, just conflicting type of energy to him, because he's like, he was very serious and very grounded, very Pentacles vibe. He was the King of Pentacles, definitely King of Pentacles. But there was this like Leo, fun, happy, vibrant, playful, childlike way about him. So for somebody to come in and have a spirit guide that's like, Helga, it's like this big brute woman from like, it made me laugh thinking about it. Anyways, my grandmother's spirit guide manifested in a Native American chief, and he never really said his name, I don't think, but she just calls him Chief. And there's two things that connected to me with her, and she's always felt this immense connection with Native American culture. She has her whole office / tarot reading room I redid for her a couple years ago, and it's like very southwestern, and she has a lot of Native American things in there. And some people might think of that cultural appropriation, but to my grandma, it's ancestor wise. Like, she doesn't have any actual proof that she has Native American roots, but to her, ancestral wise, she just knows and feels within her that she's connected to that that lineage. And her chief is not only her spirit guide, but she has felt that this chief was a father in a past life. So not only is this like, okay, here's my spirit guide, like this is an ancestral spirit guide, and he's here for me, and she knows that she never really had... Okay, hold on. You hit the nail on the head. Thanks, girl. I feel like... Rebecca, Sammy, are you okay? For real, you feel really drained and repressed and gray to me. I literally see a veil between us, unless it's the camera. Sorry to go off topic, but I had to ask. Send love. I do feel a little drained and out of it right now. I think it's because I had a cup of coffee this morning, and I'm drinking tea now, and I didn't get much sleep last night, not because of like the things going on with my grandma, but because George is on overnights, and I spent the night like up on Amazon just like looking at things, and I was up till like 3 a.m. So I am kind of out of it and tired. And when I start talking and I start going and I don't see any comments, like I'm just gonna keep going. So maybe I was getting a little drained and out of it and like kind of disconnected, but then when I don't see you guys commenting, I'm just like, all right, well, I'll just keep talking. I'm okay. I really am. I'm okay emotionally. If you're feeling disconnected, it's only because of the caffeine has kind of made me go, wah. So anyways, we can talk about something else. It's fine. What are you guys doing? There's still a ton of you here. Talk to me then. What's going on? Or maybe you guys are just enjoying hearing me rant and ramble about things. Okay, I hope you feel better. Sorry if that was intrusive. It wasn't intrusive. It was valid. I feel like when I read that comment, I was like, what was I talking about? Maybe it was the ghost last night. Oh, yes, Heather, that was right. I had a hard time sleeping last night. It's the first time I've been alone in this house for a long time overnight. And I haven't felt a lot of spirit activity or connectivity in the house for a while. And it was like, holy shit, you guys. Like, I don't care what you think or what you feel about spirit, because I was sitting in this chair in my kitchen. Nobody was home. Nothing was going on. Phoebe was on my lap. And like, it sounded like somebody was walking through my kitchen, dragging things across the counter. I like almost heard like the silverware in the drawers rattling. Like, I heard creaking and knocking, and like, it was so intense. And I kept feeling like things like brushing up against my hand and my arm. And I guess maybe it freaked me out because if it doesn't happen for a lot really rapidly or a lot in time, and there's like a span where I don't feel it a whole lot and then it starts happening again, it takes a little bit for me to get used to. but I was just so aware that I was the only one in the house and that there was so much energy and activity. And then when I was trying to go to sleep, and I posted on my Instagram story too, there was this weird video that I took trying to capture some of the sounds in the kitchen, and Phoebe was just like laying on my lap, and then I was like listening, and then I started hearing things in the kitchen, and the sound in my video cut out right before it happened, and so you can't hear anything in the video, and then all of a sudden you see Phoebe hear it, and she like jumps up, and it's like the end of the video. And I like played it back, like, oh my gosh, like, are you gonna hear that? And you hear sound, and then it just stops, and you don't hear anything, and you just see Phoebe pop up, and I'm like, what the what is happening? It's just been a while, so I didn't really get great sleep. By the time I did get in bed, even though I was scrolling on Amazon and whatnot, like, I heard someone, like, felt someone and heard somebody watching me and walking back and forth, pacing at the end of my bed. It didn't feel evil or negative or anything like that. It was just like I wasn't used to it, and it was so apparent. There was like things moving inside of my desk right by my bed. Like I heard things like moving and rattling inside whatever. Anyways, so what's up? Has anyone tried the DNA test, the 23andMe one? Maybe your grandma is NA or Native American. She's done 23andMe, I think. No, I don't remember. I'm trying to take everything in while at the same time wash clothes, wash kids, and get stuff done. I'm here, though, and enjoying. Thanks, Deborah. Yeah, you guys don't have to always be commenting and doing stuff like that, but if you don't, then I'm just going to continue to talk because I'm the only one who's going to keep this going. I do feel really out of it, though. Maybe I should switch to tea. Honestly, I am a lot better, and so please don't worry about me energetically. I'm not depressed. I'm not down. I'm not gray. I think maybe I'm just like the caffeine low. I also woke up at like 6 in the morning and went to bed at like 3, so maybe that's what it is. Stacy Clark, hi, how are you? I'm happy to listen to you ramble, Sammy. You are keeping me entertained while I do chores. I love that. Everybody does chores and stuff. That's what I do when I watch videos or live streams. Madison has a whole spirit family living in her house. That's amazing. Yeah, there's at least, I've talked about this before, there's at least 2 children here. I feel like it's a boy and a girl. And they're at an age where they're very like playful. They're at an energy level, I shouldn't say age, but they're at an energy level that really playful. Not so much mischievous. Like I don't think that they're mischievous. It's more so just like they're always running, and they're always I always see these flashes of light or feel these energies or this gust of wind like below my waist or below my knees, and it feels like that's like the energy or the height that they're at. I just get a sense that there's children here for sure. And I've talked about how I've had dreams and stuff in my dreams where the house is being overrun by children spirits and stuff like that. And they're all playing and climbing on the couches and all this stuff, and just crazy. I grew up in a haunted house. I'm still afraid of the dark and being awake overnight. Yeah, haunted house. That's a good topic to bring up. Like, what qualifies a haunted house? Because I kind of feel like all houses are haunted. But the word haunted is like is that supposed to mean like negative energy kind of thing? You know, I don't know. I have a hard time with that because I feel energy in every house or every building or everywhere I go. So I feel like always there's spirit around. It's just like maybe the spirits in certain homes are more active and so it's more spooky or something. I don't know. Not like downplaying anything you're saying. I'm just like bringing that up as a possible conversation topic to talk about. Oh my god, let me go back. You guys are amazing. Girl, I still felt scared the whole time I was watching your videos last night. Oh yeah, and then there's one where like, excuse me, I just spit. There's one that I posted where like I was like really freaked out because the noises were super loud in the kitchen, right? And Phoebe had left me and gone into the window. Well, Nothing happened. I was trying to capture some of the sounds, and then all of a sudden, like, Phoebe barked at something out the window or something. Maybe it wasn't out the window. And she barked, and it scared the crap out of me. And you can hear it in the video, and I'm like, shit! Like, I was like, oh my god. I'm like, alright, I'm done. Goodbye. That's enough. Now I'm just spooking myself out to spook myself out. I'm painting your fairy house while watching. Yay, Rebecca! Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Angelica, the most DNA tests do not have the ability to test for Native American DNA because there isn't a database for it that is extensive. Easier to test from natives from Mexico and Central America. That's very smart, Danielle. I don't know how you know that, but that's cool. I am of Caribbean Indian descent, and I too have a Native American ancestor as my guide. It is the same man that has watched over my family for centuries. That's another thing that he kind of talks about, going back to the book and away from whatever I want to talk about, is he talks about there's a lot of cultures that deal with the same guide or the same animal, like a totem animal. Like, that's that family's or that's that community's animal and guide. It's a group thing. Or here's this ancestor guide for this family, and they talk about it through generations and generations and generations. It's not just like a soul thing. Like, it's not just such a personal thing all the time. It's, you know, a group effort. When alone in a quiet room, talking to a camera, it's not always easy to keep the energy up. It's easy to fall mellow, and the camera does not translate that well. Yeah, thanks. I for sure. I'm not, and to be honest with you guys, this was something that I kind of wanted to talk about too, is like, I am really happy and bubbly and energetic and like outgoing and talkative and everything, but I definitely turn it up for the videos, and I don't know if you guys get that. It's not like I'm turning it up. It's just like, okay, now's the time where I need to interact. It's like going to a party. Like, okay, now I'm talking with people. I want to make sure I'm connected, and I bring my energy up and stuff. But it is kind of hard sometimes when you're by yourself in a room, even though you're aware that people are watching you or could be watching you after you post it, or that there are people there interacting. I'm very aware that I'm the only one actually physically in this room. But everything I've said in, like taken like the Myers-Briggs personality tests, I'm like supposed to be ENFPT. But everything that I know about extroverted and introverted and all that, like, I have a hard time categorizing myself as introverted, extroverted. I very naturally and very easily communicate with others when need be. If I need to make friends, I can. If I communicate with others, I can go out and be bubbly and fun and happy, but it drains me. So I much rather spend one-on-one time or spend alone time. And it's not even so much that I like don't want to interact with people. It's not about that. It's more so an introverted mindset of like, I recharge best alone. Where I feel like extroverts recharge and amp up when they're around other people. And I think I used to be an extrovert more so when I was younger. And I feel like I'm so rambly and like so what am I even talking about today, you guys? But I think sometimes you can get that from me. Like, sometimes I come on and I'm very like very grounded, and sometimes I'm like, oh my god, hey, what's going on, guys? Blah, blah, blah. Like, sometimes it's easier for me to turn on the extroverted than others, but I feel like I naturally do better by myself alone. And I charge up definitely, but I have to be alone, like, to recharge, and take rest. Oh my gosh, I lost so many comments. I'm gonna miss some. I'm sorry. Not always, Sam. Not negative. In my old house, we had a lot of energy, and it wasn't always scary. There are spirits everywhere. It's about your energy affects theirs and how you tune into that moment. Spirits in my house love to communicate. One night before I went to bed, I heard whispers in my ear. Yeah, that's a really common thing for me to experience, and a lot of people to experience, Madison. What kind of things did they whisper? Did they whisper your name? Did they say hello? What kind of things did they say? I knew haunted house wasn't the best term, but to me it was the connection of spirits that will harass you or cause chaos. Yeah, see, that's what I was curious about, Janae, was like, what what the energy was specifically in your house when you were younger. Was it like just really active, or did you feel kind of stagnant and like a little bit more depressive of energy? I was a kid, so I didn't know how to deal with it. Oh, I'm sure that would have been definitely hard. Mine would knock on my headboard around 3 a.m. with 3 hard knocks every night, and after a while I got used to it and would tell them goodnight and knock back. Oh, that's cute, Angie. To be clear, I wasn't criticizing Sammy for being low energy. I just was worried because I'm an empath and her energy feels off to me today, and I know she's having a tough time. Yeah, no, I honestly, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you tuning in, Rebecca. I wouldn't read too much into it today because I feel like emotionally, mentally, I'm really good today. I think it's more so that I stayed up till 3 a.m. being spooked out by the spirits in my home and Amazon binge scrolling. I like ended up buying some like really beautiful watercolor moth stickers from an Etsy shop at like 2:40 in the morning from like Germany or something, and I was like, yay, I can't wait for these to get here. Like I was like buying things like in the middle of the night. So I think I'm honestly just tired and I had too much caffeine, and that's probably what it is. Have to head to an appointment. I'll watch the rest on the playback. I lived in a haunted house when I was little, and the sensitives of my family would see and feel negative spirits all the time. It got so bad that my mother had one attack her. Oh, yeah, no, that's not good. Hi from Tampa. Hi, Life Path 6. When I was 9, oh, we're talking ghosts. Let me get closer to my screen, y'all. Okay. When I was 9 and our family was house hunting, I had an experience in one home that filled me with such dread. All I wanted to do was get the hell out of there. We had a similar experience, not so much dread, but really like stagnant energy in the beginning of June with a house that my best friend was trying to move into that she was wanting me to sage. It was just like, ugh, this is not great in here. Every single house I've lived in is haunted because the spirit has followed me since I was about 4 or 5. Yeah, so I mean, so I guess I'm haunted. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, but does that mean that the house is haunted, or does it just mean like you have spirit that follows you to your house? I don't know. Does it really matter? It's just a term people use to talk about spirit, I guess. I don't know why I'm getting so like passionate and rambly over certain terms, but it wasn't very clear, but I did hear stay safe. Oh, that's nice. No, that's sweet. Oh. We found out the house was built over land that an abusive man killed his wife, and before that was an old slave plantation property. Whoa, that is intense, Victoria Lynn. Sam H, maybe the spirit has attached itself to you. Needless to say. Okay, all right. I'm missing your guys' comments, but I have to keep going. There was one spirit that would yell boo in my ear when I would start to fall asleep almost every night. There would be deep scratches in my wood floors, amongst other things. That sucks. But I also feel like you can definitely tell, but you probably didn't know that as a child. You just tell it like, listen, boo back, let me sleep, okay? Hey everybody, oops, I'm late, gonna watch the replay. Hi, the Witch of Wands, how are you today? This is so rambly today. Isn't it always? But like, I feel extra rambly today. Let's talk more about the book. Okay, here's the thing. Oh, that was my thing. That was my homework. Okay, so we started talking about like feeling like you're being, like my grandma's spirit guide is the chief. I work with 3 main spirit guides currently, and I'm just getting into developing a relationship with Goddess Coventina, which I've been kind of open about via my Instagram posts, and I've mentioned a little bit here and there, but it's still so brand new, so I'll let you guys know how that's going, but it's been really cool. But as far as like spirit guides goes and ancestors, my spirit guides are very like non-cultural kind of thing. Like they're very ethereal. The one that I have is, her name's Tukati, and she gave me that name for her. I don't know exactly what culture she's from because there's different things that when I see her or when I saw her when she manifested in my mind that she feels very tribal, but there's not one culture or one sort of energy that I feel like she's resonating from. I think it's just more so she's taking different things in my mind from different cultures to get a good sense of her energy, that it's not as much important about what culture she's, I don't think she is. I think it's more so just a manifestation of energy. But the other two that I have, like my main spirit guide, she's ethereal AF. Like she is angelic almost. Even though I don't work with angel energy, like if I were to describe her, she's most in like this very ethereal fantasy type, angel fairy type. That's like her vibe, right? I don't really work with cultures right now. I don't really have something that I feel connected with like that. But there are certain cultures that I feel more connected with when I just think about them, or more interested in than others. And whether that's because I know that I've got, genetics, that genes that kind of link me back to those places. Like I feel very connected to Scottish heritage, Welsh heritage, Italian heritage, because I know that that's, where my heritage is coming from. But then I have things that's like out of nowhere where I feel very connected to the Chinese culture, or even just a lot of the Asian history and Asian things, either spiritually or culturally, I feel very connected with. I feel very connected with, okay. I think I'm losing you guys. Okay, we should have a witchy girls night of just talking about random stuff. That would be fun. Down, Heather. Like once a month, call it something like Sammy's Witchy Rants. I'm pretty sure that's what Witchy Book Club is. It's like, what else is this? I'm not even talking about the book, okay? I've always been connected to the Irish and Celts. I don't know why my family's not Irish. Okay, so that's what I'm getting at more so. Like, if you don't know that you have any roots like that, what are the things, or why are you connected to certain things, or what cultures interest you more, and why do you think that that is? Are you just fascinated at their way of life, the way that they approach things, their rituals, their beliefs, their structure around their society? Is it that? Or is there something else that's pulled you? Like I was so interested in the Egyptian culture when I took my art history class in college. Like they started you at the beginning of certain things, and I feel like that Egyptian culture and energy I felt connected to on a little bit deeper level than I did when we were getting through certain other eras and certain other art genres and time periods. Like I, for some reason, was just like Ra, the sun god. I was like, I've worshipped him before. Like I have known this before. Like there was something in me that like knew what they were teaching already, and these images and these gods and these this way of life felt like I knew it more. I guess I don't know how to describe it, but this is what's coming up, and that's why you feel connected to such random things and time periods. Like who knows if 100 years back my ancestors found himself a little nice Irish girl, or vice versa, and I think the Irish and French went to Mexico at some point, and that's why we have gingers in Mexico. Yeah, and so that's really going to be my homework for you guys today. I don't really know what to do or how to do it. You could write it down. You could just think about it, acknowledge it, whatever you want to do. I feel like a lot of people shied away from doing my writing. Okay, what chapter are we on now? We're currently somewhere along the lines of chapter, I lost my book. I think it's chapter 8. Yeah, we're kind of dabbling along the lines of chapter 8. We're getting our way through here. But that's my homework for you guys today. Either discover within yourself, or kind of explore a little bit more at why you're drawn to certain cultures, certain time periods, certain areas of the world, and whether it's because you know that you have ancestral roots, genetic ties, or whether it doesn't really seem to be connected at all, and there's certain things that you can't really explain, you just really like that culture. Like maybe you're really into the Japanese culture, even if it's more modern, like you're really into like the anime and, um, you know, the cosplay side of that stuff. Like that would be something to explore. Maybe it's just a current interest in you now, but still think about that more. You could write about it. You could find images that you feel really drawn to and cut them out and put them in a journal, or if you have a book of shadows, or if you have a bullet journal / book of shadows, grimoire, whatever you want to do. It's an exercise for you to kind of get a little bit more connected and closer to these cultures or these certain areas around the world that you might feel drawn to that you're not sure why. Or that you're like, oh, I love this because I know my great 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 grandfather's from here, and I feel like I can sense that root and that, you know, ancestral lineage through and within me, and kind of discover a little bit more. Like I said, you could write, you could draw, you could just think about it. You could talk to somebody about it. You could make a video about it. You could do an Instagram post about it. Whatever you want to do. I just encourage you guys to take a little bit more of a look on like why you're drawn to certain cultures or why you might feel connection to certain things. Victoria Lynn says, I'm too and really drawn to Asian and Egyptian and Roman cultures. I feel the same pull to those as you do. I can't explain it. Almost as if my soul has lived a life in those cultures. It's strange. So yeah, Victoria Lynn, that could be how you acknowledge it, or you could do something more, but kind of go a little bit deeper in that. Maybe look into certain things and find out exactly what it is, or maybe, I don't know. Just, we're going to be looking, and that's our homework, is to be looking into those things and why we feel connected to certain cultures. And Angie said, yes, Victoria Lynn, that's why I want to do the DNA test. I want to know if maybe I do have some Irish or French in me. The Witch of Wands, me too. Here's the thing about the DNA thing. I've done a DNA test, and it came up pretty much what I thought it would, because I know a lot about a lot of the sides of me, because on my mom's side, they're like extremely into genealogy, and they've done extensive work. The women in my family on my mom's side have done extensive work on genealogy. So I know a lot about myself without having to do a lot of work. And then I knew a lot about my papa on my dad's side, and then my grandma never knew her real dad. So there is a lot of question marks, which is the biggest reason why I wanted to do the DNA test. But the thing is like, just because you have a DNA test doesn't mean that you can't be energetically connected in, let's say you believe in other lifetimes, in a past life. So just because your DNA now says that you don't have any Irish or Celtic roots doesn't mean that maybe in some sort of other parallel universe or in some other life form, if you believe in all that stuff, which I think I do, it doesn't mean that you couldn't have had experiences with that energy and that culture just because your DNA. So proving something with the DNA is going to be nice just for your peace of mind and to be able to say like, oh yes, that's why I'm drawn to it. But it's not like my DNA didn't tell me like, yes, you have Egyptian roots. Like, because if you think about it, we all kind of have roots everywhere at some point, or we've interacted genetically at some point with everything. It's more so just about what you feel in your heart and your soul that you're interested and connected with. But I do understand that like big question mark, like I don't know, so I would like to know kind of thing. Madison, I think in a past life I lived in France because I know a lot of French without studying it. Oh, that's really interesting too. Like children who come in the world with like just like pick up languages or just know languages without having to try, like that freaks me out. Like that's pretty cool. Also, when I was born, I had a Boston accent, which is kind of crazy because nobody in my family, and it was kind of a speech impediment, but not really. It was like a full-blown Boston accent. Like, Mom, where's the coffee? Like, I was just like all in Boston, like get in the car. Like, I just had this, and it kind of went away when I was like introduced to other kids in like kindergarten and stuff. But like, why did I come into the world and learn? Like, nobody around me spoke like that. So what was it about the way that I was talking that just kind of like, was it a past life? Was it just a weird impediment with my speech? I'm not sure. Past life meditation with the objective of finding out the connection to the culture you're unexplicitly drawn to may be helpful. Hell yeah, Janae, that sounds awesome. Yeah, you guys could meditate on it and let that be what it is, or you could journal about it afterwards. I'm into journaling, okay? So that's why I suggest it. But if you guys could do whatever you want, just think about more. That's our homework. At least think about some of the things that you're drawn to without knowing why, or cultures or practices in certain areas of the world that you might be more interested in and for that don't seem to have a connection. I feel like that's the case for me. So if I don't have the DNA, I know it's a soul thing. It's my soul in past life that's always been in my past. My mom says I belong in the past. I hope she means that nicely. Maybe a Boston accent is a speech impediment. Rude. No, I know what you mean. Okay, guys, so I'm kind of losing steam here. But is there anything else you guys want to go over? Because I'm skipping a couple chapters. I guess the last thing I want to go over with, no, just kidding, with lots of love. Lots of love. The last thing I kind of wanted to go over before we draw a card from the Earth Magic deck for the week, and I assign the homework. Well, I'll just assign the homework now. The homework for next week is to finish part 2. So I think we're going to go from chapters, what is it, like 11 to... Oh my god, this is a lot of reading, y'all. But I kind of want to just get through this book. Again, I mean that in the best way possible. But I kind of want to, we need to get through this. Okay, so we're going to be reading for next week. Our homework is chapters 11 through 18, pages 103 to 176. And our homework is to, think about those cultures or those time periods or different ethnicities that we might be drawn to and why, and just to look a little bit deeper through that. But I did want to finish up with talking about, he goes into spirit animals and he goes into angel connection, ethereal beings, which I think is really interesting. And he just touches on a lot of it. There was a way that he worded, like, the only way to come back from soul loss is to connect with your spirit animal, which just made me kind of eye roll again. But I can tell you that there was an underlying hint of validity there for me, because I've had what I would like to call 2 spiritual awakenings. So my first spiritual awakening, well, maybe 3. We'll just talk about the 2 that I was going to talk about. The first one was when I quit smoking, when my grandpa was passing or had passed, and I started learning astrology and metaphysics with my grandmother, and I was doing yoga every day, and I had this big, spiritual awakening that really kind of blew my mind and transformed and changed me into, opening up this whole new world for me. And then throughout the years, I kind of slowly had certain things happen to me and whatever, and I never really totally got out of practice, but I went down to pretty much nothing. And then in the past, 2 years or so, I kind of had what I'd like to say is like a second awakening, or like a bringing back to this sort of path. And it really started with the raven, you guys. And so that even though I was like eye rolling and like, oh yeah, your soul loss and the way to heal and the way to connect is only through your spirit animal, blah, it's not the only way. There was like some validity there where I was like, well, it's kind of what happened to me. I started seeing the raven and the crow everywhere, like in my artwork, in my dreams. I made that painting. When I did the watercolor sketch for my raven painting, I think I titled it Raven Awakening or something like that. I did the watercolor sketch of it first to plan it out, and I was getting this different subscription box at the time, and it came with this little T, and the image on the T was like almost identical. Oh no, I cut out. Are you still there? Are you guys still there? I cut out. I don't know what happened. So, okay, I'm gonna really wrap this up because I don't know what's happening. Description below. Okay, all right, I'm sorry. I'm back. I kept seeing these ravens. Raven and crow were really calling me back to these things and kind of seeing them continuity. I was seeing them in my dreams. I was seeing them in real life. I was feeling really connected. I was feeling these things. And I would say that it was kind of the catalyst or the bringing back to this spiritual path and this spiritual awakening. And I feel extremely, extremely connected to the raven. And then you guys know, if you don't, that I'm really connected to moths. And I had this experience where I was sitting on my back porch and I was like, okay, I think I've really journeyed and felt and understood my connection with the raven. I've really developed a relationship here. I'm ready for another guide. And whenever you're ready, kind of show me what my next guide is. And as I was saying that, like, I closed my eyes and tilted my head back, and a big moth came and smacked me in the face. And it was so funny, and it was so like quick when it happened. I was like, whoa, all right, ask and you shall receive kind of thing. And ever since then, they've showed up in the weirdest places, like the most unique and weirdest timing. And yeah, if that isn't a sign, I don't know what is. Like, I was like, please, no, I think I even said something like, just make it obvious so I know, like, make it, like, I think that's what was funny about it. I was like, I don't want to have to decipher. Can you just, like, tell me what my next, you know, like, show me or whatever. And then the moth, like, came and, like, hit me in the face, and I was like, whoa. I saw a dragonfly 3 times during this week, and when I was reading this chapter, the dragonfly came close to me again. Yes. So, I mean, I would definitely not ignore that. If that feels valid to you, I would look into it deeper and kind of start a journey and relationship if that feels right to you with that animal. Because the moth is something that, like, nobody really, like, likes. Like, if you type in moth in Amazon or on Google and stuff like that, the first thing that comes up is either pictures of them or ways to get rid of them because they're a nuisance. Like, people don't really think about moths as like a spirit animal because they think of like butterflies or things like that as spirit animals. So to me, it was almost like, wait, really? A moth? Like, come on now. But then thinking to me about the representation of like how they're always trying to go towards the light, how they work with the moon and how they work with the dark period, that felt so valid for me. And I was reading last night, and I went to go let my dog out, and I was feeling all these spirits, and I was like not really connecting to the reading, and I was just kind of trying to get through it and everything. And if you guys watched my Instagram story, which it sounds like some of you did, I went to go let my dog out, and there was this big, huge, beautiful brown moth right next to the door on the inside, and it was like right in my face. And I was reading about spirit totems and spirit animals and all these things, and it was just, again, such a really wonderful validation for me to be like, okay, even though I'm not jiving with, you know, how this author is setting up this book and the way that they're approaching things, they're still going over topics that I feel really connected with and that I still really enjoy. And it just kind of was like another validity for me, or a validation from my spirit animal, the moth, that was like, hey, I'm still here for you. Like, I still love you, and, you know, I'm around kind of thing. And it was so cool. Oh man, I love a moth. I love it. I love me a good moth sign. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys are saying some things. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, I can't read all your comments. I'm trying to wrap up. I feel like mine would be a bee. They love me. Oh, I love bees. But I've always been afraid of. But without knowing, I use a lot of beeswax and honey, and sometimes that represents them. That's amazing. Yeah, bees are awesome. I love bees. I've been seeing a lot of feathers since I started my first spiritual awakening, still trying to figure out what that means for me. And that's cool too. Sometimes you just get messages and you're like, I don't know what this means, but I like it. My power animal is a wolf, but for now the dragonfly message is perfect. I'm impressed. And yeah, and he, you know, what else he talks about is like sometimes we have animals that come into our lives for specific points or specific reasons. Like, they aren't just always like here to stay. Sometimes when we need to go through, I don't know what he said, like what exactly he said, like what animal it was or something. Like, maybe if somebody's really needing strength and they're going through a really difficult time and they really need, you know, to find and muster up the power and the strength and, you know, a more wild energy within them, a certain animal might come into their life for a short period of time to help them get through that kind of thing. And that's really interesting as well, because I've had like the swan and the fox energy come in and out, deer in and out, but for me, like the raven and the moth have always been pretty solid. Okay, you guys, let's start and wrap this up because we're almost at 2 hours, and my phone, I I've been seeing cats randomly. Oh, I wish I was seeing cats, Madison. I love cats. Let's pull a card. And if you guys don't have any other questions or anything you want to go over while I'm shuffling or while we're, wrapping this up, feel free to let me know. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I am sorry if I'm a little robotic today. Like I said, didn't get a lot of sleep last night. But I love doing this. I enjoy this so much. My grandma sends me butterflies, especially orange ones. Oh, I saw that, Heather. You just got a bunch of messages recently from her, and I think that's really sweet. So because we're going over Earth Magic by Stephen D. Farmer, we're going to pull a card, if you weren't here last week, from Earth Magic by Stephen D. Farmer, the Oracle cards. And last week's messages was really spot on, and this is a brand new deck for me, and I'm really enjoying working with it. My grandma was pulling cards for her, and some of the cards that she was getting was like, whoa, girl, that's intense. So let's just kind of focus on moving forward this week and seeing what we need to kind of tap into, or what we might need to focus on, or maybe an energy that really represents and recaps some of the things that we were going over. So I'm just going to take a second to get quiet, and you can talk amongst yourselves, or you can stay quiet with me while I go ahead and shuffle up these cards and find out what we need to know here. Almost had a jumper. Okay. Oh, sorry. That was a genuine reaction, you guys, because today's message is ocean. I know it's backwards for you, but I can't do anything about that. But it's ebb and flow. Look at how beautiful that is. And I'd like to see what the guidebook says, but to me, this is like such a personal message for me. I kept thinking in my head, like, what do we all need to know? What do we all need to take away or focus on or look at? So maybe I can talk to you guys a little bit more about my experience and stuff, but I'm going to be making a video on Coventina, who is the goddess I've been working with, and this is new for me. And she is the goddess of large bodies of water. She's the reason why, or one of the reasons why they think people throw coins into fountains. And she deals with childbirth, which I am going to be a doula and present for somebody's childbirth in the next week or two, hopefully sooner rather than later for her sake. She's pretty ready. And asking for the homework assignments to be in the description box under each side saves time so we don't have to go through all the videos again. Okay, I can do that. That's a great suggestion. But anyways, I think even though I didn't experience the ocean, this large body of water, and we'll get into the ebb and flow and stuff, I'm sure, when we go into the book, but for me, the therapeutic experience of being on the boat and being in the water and swimming and kind of letting myself go, because I can tend to get really wound up and anxious and serious and work really, really, really hard for things. Like, I'm very, very ambitious. I'm very, very hardworking. When I have free time, I'm doing something. I very rarely am not doing something. But to allow myself the space and the energy and the time to just kind of go with the flow and to spend time relaxing and to not do anything. I feel like this period right now for me, without this a battery charger for my camera, even though I have all of these things and all of this inspiration, and I really, really want to make videos because it makes me happy and I have a lot that I want to express and to share with you guys, it's kind of allowing me the fortitude to kind of chill for a second and to really make sure I'm focusing and really making sure I'm planning my time. Like I said, I put my website on vacation mode when I was on vacation, but it's still on vacation because I feel like I'm not ready yet, and I feel like I'm just trying to feel the natural, you know, ebbs and flows of energy. And I feel like right now it's not a time for me to be outwardly helping other people as much as it is a time for me to help myself and to kind of reevaluate and relook, and kind of whatever life's hitting me, I'm just kind of going with. And I feel like around me right now there's some big waves crashing in on me, and I'm just trying to stay afloat. And other times I feel like I'm kind of sipping moonshine, drifting on an inner tube, soaking up the rays. Like, it just depends on the day, on the hour, on the moment. And for me to try to kind of come back a little bit more from feeling like I'm trying to plan everything and control everything and make things happen the way I want to, and to have a little bit of this like 5 planets in retrograde and trauma drama around me concerning other people, and me just having to kind of like go with the flow, the ebbs and flows, but also this new beautiful connection to Goddess and Coventina. I just feel like a little overwhelmed, but also it's really beautiful in the process. So let's read what this is. I know you guys are saying some things, and I'll read them before we go, but I am trying to wrap up here. So let's see what Mr. Farmer has to say about ebb and flow, because maybe we'll get some keywords that are in a different light here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. It's in alphabetical order, so I have to find ocean. Where is it? Music. Oh, here we go. Ocean. Ebb and flow. Here's what it says about ocean. Maybe this will connect you a little bit more than what I'm saying. Or maybe not. The ebb and flow of life is never more clearly represented than in the ocean's movements. The tides of these great bodies of water rise and fall in regular rhythms, and the waves continue to roll to the shore in endless and varied patterns, just as they have been doing for millions of years and will continue to do so for millions more. These tides and waves maintain a relative predictability unless other unforeseeable forces of nature intervene, which have been known to happen. Hurricanes and earthquakes, for instance, can have a dramatic effect on the characteristics of both the tides and the waves. The oceans cover 70% of Earth, and the human body averages a composition of 70% of water. The dramatic gravitational interaction of the sun and moon that moves these massive bodies of water and creates the shifting tides also affects our human bodies in ways that we respond to instinctually, often having a great deal more influence over our moods and emotional states than we are aware of. Also, y'all, I made another new moon float spa for Thursday. I think Thursday. So I'm going to be bathing in some water and really journeying deep within that. And I'm kind of scared, actually. There's one little more section, and then I'm going to leave you all beauties for the day. It says, an important aspect in the art of living is to move with the ebb and flow of your emotions, joining their fluidity, not being captured by it. It is also not necessary to become obsessed with any particular fluctuation in a mood or feeling. They are simply emotions, often activated in ways that are completely beyond your understanding. When you neither minimize nor exaggerate the intensity and importance of your emotions, you then have a greater sense of when and how to express them. You have been fighting the ebb and flow of your own feelings, denying your hurt, anger, or sorrow by either attaching yourself to one or the other and nurturing it as if you were nursing a child, or else soothing over your feelings with more practiced responses that deny and hide what's going on beneath the surface of your expression. So maybe you're hitting more on the dot here, Rebecca, than you thought. I'm getting a ton of notifications. There's one little other part. When you attempt to constrict yourself of experiencing your emotions, it is much like trying to stem the tides that grow even more forceful with every attempt humans make to control them. Allow yourself to swim with these variations rather than resisting them. Honestly, I think this is really valid. I also feel like I've kind of worked through this, and it's kind of hinting at what I experienced when I allowed myself to cry on the live streams, when I allowed myself to break down and kind of be honest about what I was going through with certain people in my life, and feeling like I'm alone with dealing with it and kind of feeling a little lost. But also I feel like I said, this little excursion out on the water and connecting back to focusing on what's important and giving myself some break, and kind of coming with it as it goes. So I hope something in there connected with you guys. I kind of felt like this was pretty personal to me, but maybe you guys felt a little bit more. Before you guys go, let's, one more time, I'm going to go real quickly through the comments and make sure you guys don't have any questions. I think someone's asking about the next live stream. Yes, next live stream, Monday. Same time, I will make an event for it, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be going over chapter 11 through the rest of the part of chapter 2. Your homework today is to think about different cultures, ethnicities, or backgrounds that you feel connected with, either because you know that you have genetic ties to them, or maybe that you have interest in and you don't know why you're being pulled towards them. You could, like I said, do some artwork. You could do some journaling. You could meditate on it. Whatever you want to do. Let's just look a little bit further into that for this week. I think everybody's going. I love this deck. Energy. So happy to have been here. Thank you all so much for coming. I will put the homework in the description box below. And I will also, I have started to do this, I will be linking now the other live streams for the book. So like for Green Witch, when we did Green Witch, I went back and linked all the other videos in the comments or in the description box of all the other videos. So like if you wanted to just keep going, it's right there for you. So I will try to do that for this book as well in the future. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. Yeah, that's it. I feel just tired. I feel tired. That's what I feel. I feel pretty tired. So I might go, thanks, Professor Sammy. Thank you, students. You all get A-minuses for today because a lot of you didn't do your homework. No, anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really, really enjoy this, as always. I love you so much. Before you go, make sure to hit the thumbs up button because we all know how positive energy spreads. And yeah, if you're watching the playback, leave me a comment below what your thoughts were of this